I finally fixed my OBS recording in like terrible qualities. Apparently it's something with my monitor. I don't know. Anyway, basically I wanted to make like a little bit of a quote-unquote update video. I don't know if you could really call it an update video. I mean, for like the next couple minutes, I'm just gonna be ranting about some critical strike topics. Since I voice revealed in my tier list video, I wanted to do some commentaries because I thought that that would be like a cool thing to do. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about 3 topics today. First one, I'm going to be talking about overpowered classes and, you know, who should be able to use them, because, you know, I just don't think that it's very fun for, like, anybody. I mean, you could probably phrase that way better, but I'm just bad at phrasing things. Next we have the HP system and why it's so good. I don't know what language these guys are speaking in. I think it's Chinese, I don't know. And then I'm going to be talking about state of the game and a message for Epic, you know, on the off chance that he watches one of these videos. So yeah, Epic, if you want to, you know, like stick around, like skip to the timestamp, because I'm going to be putting timestamps on this. This is all, like, the footage that you're seeing right now, this is all live. I'm doing this in one take. Like, this isn't footage that I just slapped together and then did a commentary over it. This is just like actual gameplay. So first topic, like overpowered classes. You know, my personal take, if you're gonna play, you know, and this might be kind of controversial. All the top tier classes like Warrior and all those other dudes, you know, Dancer, Wind Dancer, whatever you want to call them. I don't think that you shouldn't. Okay, if you're a new player, like, first of all, hey, welcome. You know, this is Critical Strike. You know, I hope you keep playing. But the next thing, you know, they can't really, you know, be held responsible if they're like playing Warrior or like Wind Dancer, you know, any of those top tier characters. But the complete opposite is when you have somebody with like 10,000 wins, you know, and they're sitting there playing Wind Dancer. They have like a 25 win streak. It's just BS. So basically, my take on it is going to be controversial, but if you're a long-time player that's just bored, I feel like you should have the right to play some of those, you know, kind of like BS classes, as long as you don't like, you know, kind of like, I guess, abuse it. I think that it's perfectly okay to, because I'm basically comparing this to Brawl Meta Knight or Smash 4 Bayonetta at this point, because that's what these classes really are like. Because, you know, you can, you know, it's just, at this point, it's just like in Brawl Meta Knight, it's just how well does your character fare against Warrior and Wind Dancer. Well, I mean, I guess you don't see them all the time, but you know, there's a high chance that you will, and, you know, at that point, it just becomes repetitive and really just kind of annoying. I think, you know, you're a veteran player, you've been playing for a long time, you've purposely kept yourself from playing that class because you think it's very disrespectful to, like, ruin the game for everybody. You know, and if you're one of the people that, and you know that you're doing it, like, that's just, like, vile. I just don't think, I'm gonna get so many dislikes on this video. Like, yo, Dancer mains, hi. Yeah, get out. Like, stop playing the game. Basically, I just think, you know, if you're bored, if you're a veteran player, don't main it. but like if you haven't played it and you want to try it out because it's like, you know, like the last class that, you know, you've been playing, play it. Like, it doesn't matter, just don't abuse it, you know. I think it's perfectly fine if people like use it for like one game, like anybody, but you know, if you use it in a way that is like you're basically like maining it or you're playing it to win, or just being like really like sweaty in general, I don't think that you've earned that right. Like, I don't know. It probably sounds really bad on my part, but that's truly just my take on it. I don't think that everybody should have access to the super overpowered classes, and since the game isn't getting updated, like, you know, that's why I'm making this video about overpowered classes. Like, I mean, okay, here's the thing. The only, like, truly justified way of playing these classes is if somebody else is maining it, destroying the lobby, and, like, everybody's getting super annoyed. If you are one of the people to, you know, come out and say, hey, you know, I don't really want to stand for this, and you're like, oh man, well, what class can I use to, like, kill this, you know? I think it's perfectly okay if you use one of the best characters in the game, as long as you just, like, reset after you kill them, because that's what I've been doing. Whenever I see a Wind Dancer, I just pick Warrior, beat them up until they leave the game, because, you know, I just don't, it probably looks bad, but I just, as a long-term member of this community, I just, it kind of, like, it kind of hurts to see, you know, these trash playstyles just thrown around casually. I just don't enjoy, like, how, I just don't think anybody enjoys how the game is actually made anymore. It's just like a win or lose kind of thing. Speaking of which, I'm probably getting a little bit off topic. I'll get to the next topic in a second. But like hackers, I haven't let my token count get poisoned. Like just because I want my account to be like authentic, you know. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, all I'm saying, I just don't want, you know, I don't want those free tokens or things. And plus, if you cheat on Critical Strike, you are like trash. I just have to say it. To all of you hackers out there, you know, you went on Vermilion and you were like, oh my god, I need to be, dude, nobody's laughing, okay? Like I've seen so many people who are like, oh man, well sometimes the hackers are nice and they like play fair like it's a boss fight. It's like, shut up, you can't justify that. It's like saying, oh man, I like murdered somebody, but oh man, everybody's after me, dude. Like it doesn't matter. You guys should be able to like do something. It's like that's no excuse, you know. It's just BS, and I don't like how people like, you know, sometimes justify that, because there's no justifying it, you know. Yeah, I just don't think it's that cool. So, you know, it's difficult sometimes if you're playing this game. For someone like me, it's kind of difficult to, you know, comprehend that like people actually like cheat in this game. Like, why? Because, you know, it has a dwindling player count, and it's like, you know, it's a tightly knit community. Like, this is our territory, you know. I just don't like when people like go and invade it, and you know, I don't know if that makes sense. Probably also looks bad on my part, but that's just how I think about it. So I forgot to make a point that I thought was really important, important enough that I had to add it back in the video, that I'm gonna rant about for a little bit more. But you know, if you're playing one of these classes, you know, rock on, I guess. But you know, you basically signed a one-way waiver, or a one-way ticket, I guess, that is signed with your name on it, and it says, hey, if this guy dies, or, you know, gets 2v1'd, or dies in some BS way, you are not allowed to be toxic about it. Because guess what you're doing? Never would have guessed. Oh man. It's like, okay, you're so hypocritical. If you're playing Wind Dancer, if you're playing any of those like trash, super annoying classes just to win, if you're not like trying them out or like you're not using them in one match, like the community has no respect for you. We will not come to your aid when you're getting killed by a mushroom. You know, we won't team like we will team on you. We won't help you. Like you can do what you want, okay? And this might sound really angry, but it's like, you know, I don't know if it's like I had a bad day or something, but I just really want to tell it to these people because I don't think anybody understands. If you are going to play the game, if you're gonna play a stupid and dumb class and you know that you're playing it like super dumb, you accept the consequences. You accept the waiver that says, I do not care, or I will not have to care about this because it is very stupid and hypocritical of me to complain about it. If you are one of the people to be playing a cancer class, get killed by a cancer class, and complain, you are like at the bottom of the barrel next to hackers, okay? You know, it's so dumb. If you want to play this game and you want to be respected, you know, it's just like they say in kindergarten, you should treat others with respect. You know, it's not that hard. It is not that hard. And another thing with Overpowered Classes, if you play, if you're that one person to play Mushroom in an unfair match, you know, that's fine. If you, you know, that makes sense. If you're playing Mushroom and your team is the losing team with only 3 players and they have 4, you know, that's fine. But if you're playing Mushroom in any other situation, or any sort of crowd control character, it doesn't matter. Like, actually, only Firecracker and, only Firecracker and Mushroom are the really big ones. If you're playing either of those, and it's not because you're at a disadvantage, you know, that's bad manners, really, just BM, actually. And you know, you should not be, like, praised for carrying your team with Mushroom or, you know, Firecracker. I just don't, like I said, you know, this isn't the golden rule. You can play whatever class you want, but you just have to respect what's going to happen if you try it. You know, if you play one of these classes, you are fully responsible to what happens to you. And I know I've said it a million times, but people who main these classes just they can never ever come to terms with it. So that's why I'm saying it a million times, because I feel like I have to drill it into their brains that, you know, you're not the only person you're not like the person who's like super annoyed at you and calls you trash isn't exactly wrong for once, and they're not exactly, you know, alone here, you know. I'm assuming that everybody hates you in that lobby except for your one teammate, you know, because you're playing the class that you play. Okay, next topic is the HP system. So I really like the HP system. You know, you'll be like playing the game, some trash like jester will ambush you, and you know, you'll hit them for like a ton of damage, and if the HP system wasn't like it is today, person could just run and get all their health back. But that's just not a thing now. Just because the health cubes are made in such a great way so that, oh yeah, the effective health, where, you know how you take damage, half of that is basically like true damage, and you can't regenerate that unless you kill somebody or get a cube. I really like that concept. It works really well. Except for the part when you kill people. Let's say, I've noticed this only happens if two people are in red health and the winner kills the other person, they only get like 5 health. That, at least that's what I've noticed anyway. I don't like, I really do not like that part of it. Just because you have to rely on the fact that somebody is going to be respectful and like take a void damage to get to even health. I do that sometimes, depending on A, if it's like somebody I know, or B, like, you know, they're respectful, like they're playing a class that's like unique and not just copy and paste. Like, for example, this dude is playing Musketeer. Like, I respect him immensely for that, because nobody plays Musketeer. You know, like classes, people playing classes that you don't see often, I have respect for that. Just because, you know, they're trying something new and they're not just going with the meta. Especially when somebody plays, like, you know, if somebody's experimental and they play a different class each round, mad respect. Just because, you know, you're trying to have fun. But I just, at this point, since it's not getting updated, I don't think it's supposed to be that much of a competitive game, you know? I really wish people would respect it, but anyway, back to the HP cubes. Yeah, really good game design on their end. You know, except for the middle health cube, because you always regenerate. I think that it's a really good concept, just because fights won't last forever. Especially with characters like Priest, who have massive healing abilities. I think that that's very important. Because, you know, you could have a fight just going on forever. So you see, yeah, this Elementalist right here, he has, or me actually, there's black on the health bar, and there's also gray. Gray is stuff that can't be regenerated. Black is stuff that can be regenerated. So basically 50% of your damage, and if you take an odd number, it's always in your favor. So like if you take 7, you'll always only get 3 actual like true damage, instead of the unfavorable amount, which is 4. So I think that's a cool feature. Oh yeah, another thing, if you're on, let's say I was on 63.5, I actually regenerate 1.5 HP, which is also cool. Oh well, on the next tick that I'm able to get my HP back. And then on the topic of HP systems, that also kind of, you know, talks about lifesteal. The reason why Thief and Dancer are so good, is because they can heal. If Thief couldn't heal, Thief would be like A tier, or B tier at the least, or something. But he has such massive healing ability, it's just busted. So, you know, that's the only reason he's good. I mean, he does have the best mobility in the game. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter, because he does burst damage. But since that burst damage heals, that's crazy. It's like Vampire Witch Time in class. So, you know, it's pretty busted. I don't think, you know, HP system is perfect. You know, it could be improved upon, like what I was saying earlier. But yeah, you know, it's not perfect. Okay, lastly, we have the state of the game overall and a message for Epic. So basically, you know, the game's community is the worst part of it right now, 100%. You could also argue that it's balancing too, because that's what makes the community bad. And you know, that makes sense because of you know, if Dancer and when Dancer and Warrior were nerfed by now, you know, it would be much more balanced than like a more skillful game. I mean, it's still heavily skill based for any class that isn't the top tier one, you know. So I don't know. Like it's skill based, but to the point where you can 100% get carried by your class. So I don't know. Sorry for the pauses. I was kind of focusing there. Yeah, I probably edited it out, but whatever. You know, it's cool. The game isn't really getting updated, and you know, I can see why. Probably because of the allegations. But you know, like the developers, if they want to like quit the game, if they want to take a break, that's fine. Like I respect it. They've made an awesome game, and you know the people enjoy it. But I do think, and I think I speak for a lot of the community when I say this. There's still a lot of things that could be touched up on. You know, I don't. It's not a perfect game. It's 100% not a perfect game. Um, like it's totally not as balanced as like something like Smash Bros. But it is relatively balanced. I mean, I guess you can cap that all you want, but you know, you can really tell that developers put their hearts and souls into this. Um, there's no really reskins, and the skins that you get for the classes are great. So I don't know what you make of that, but personally, I think that you know they have dedication for their craft, and you know they think it's important, which I heavily respect. Mad props to Epic and the development team. Um, and then finally, message to Epic. You know, we know the CS community knows that you know you did some bad things, but you know it would be really cool to see you back again. You know, like I know we all know that you know you're a good person, and you know, like you know you can change. You know, and I feel like you've already done that. So I don't know like if there's something going on like in your life, which is fine. Like I said, that's fine. But you know, I'm just saying like if the reason for it is that like you know that's fine. With the allegations, like you're deserving of a break. Like you worked really hard on this, you know. And the game still holds up to this day. It still holds up. But you know, if you ever wanted to come back, you know, you know, we'd understand why you came back and we wouldn't be mad at you. So yeah, basically, CS community, we just like we just want you back, man. Like seriously, um, just that's just the plain and simple way, I guess. Like I mean I don't know if there's any more to it. I just think I don't know like who worked on the game. I don't know if you were a main developer or not. But I do remember a post that was like, hey, this person, or like, you know, it's a development team, or whatever. Anyway, final message basically, or overview. You know, if you do you, you know, we're not gonna hunt you down. You know, you do whatever you want. Just know that if you're afraid to coming back to the game because of the community, don't worry. You know, like we're fine, and you know it's a tightly knit community. We appreciate the game. We appreciate you making it. That's really all I want to say.